The MLB season is 162 games, and that really results in a lot of surprises for the MLB season. And I'm going over 5 teams who have either really surprised under expectations or have surpassed these expectations and became a great team based on preseason projections and where they're on pace to go from now. These 5 teams are very surprising this year and have really gone away from their preseason expectations. Before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button down below, and comment what your biggest surprise was for the MLB season. The first team, and probably most surprising team, is the Chicago White Sox. The Chicago White Sox were projected to lose 100 plus games and only win 61 games, but at this moment, they're 63-58, leading the AL Central and on pace to win 85 games this season. This is a 24-game differential in where they were projected to be at the start of the year and where they are on pace to finish. The White Sox team has taken the league by surprise, and it's led by their offense with guys like Munetaka Murakami, Miguel Vargas, Colson Montgomery, Chase Mydroth, and everyone else in that lineup are just doing their job. Guys like Tristan Peters have emerged, guys like Sam Antonacci. It was really just a bunch of guys who were not seen as anything, but have really came to play this season. As well on the pitching side, getting emergences from guys like Grant Taylor, who is now one of the best relievers in baseball, a guy like Sean Burke, who has been absolutely amazing as a starter this year and has been one of the best starters in baseball for the past couple months. Davis Martins has a great year, and now getting a guy like Luis Castillo at the deadline is only going to help this team. This team is going to make the playoffs, most likely going to win their division, and nobody saw this coming at the start of the year, as all the experts were saying they were going to lose 100 games and only win 61 games and be one of the worst teams in the league. They have proved them wrong this year and are one of the biggest surprises this season based on where they were projected in the preseason and where they are now. Next team who was a surprise, but for the bad end, is the New York Mets, the team who is paying their guys $700 million, one of the highest payrolls in the league, was projected to win 92 games this season, preseason. And you can see why. They have guys like Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, they brought in Bo Bichette, Jorge Polanco. They have a great starting pitcher, Noel McLean, who might win the Rookie of the Year this year. They brought in guys like Luke Weaver and Devin Williams to back end that bullpen. And it really just hasn't worked out at all for the Mets. And it's really interesting to see as they're on pace to win 70 games and currently sit at 54-69 in the bottom of the NL East and not even sniffing the playoffs. Many thought this team was going to be great after getting their deadline or their offseason acquisitions, and they have done the complete opposite. This team lacks vibes, they lack consistency, and they have the talent, but they can just not put it all together. And they've gotten emergencies from rookies. Guys like AJ Ewing and Carson Bench are going to be in the Rookie of the Year conversation in the NL, and they still are just not winning games, and they're not going to win games for the rest of the year and be one of the worst teams in the league. And nobody really saw this coming. All the experts saying they're going to be a playoff team, potentially win their division, win 90-plus games, and be a World Series contender, and that has just not happened this year. And who knows, is Francisco Lindor going to be on the Mets next season? And what is it going to look like in New York as they continue to be the worst team in New York as years have gone on? Maybe they should have kept Pete Alonso. He was the backbone of that franchise player, and he wanted to be there. The Mets just didn't want to bring him back. They thought bringing in Jorge Polanco, Marcus Semien, and Bo Bichette was going to be better for their team and their infield, while they let Pete Alonso go. This Mets team has just really been disappointing. Who knows, are they going to shed a bunch of payroll this offseason and restart? But we're just going to have to find out. And the Mets have been one of the most surprising disappointments of the year. Next, a team that just always finds a way to win, and that is the Tampa Bay Rays. Believe it or not, a team that's projected to win around 100 games this season throughout the rest of the year was only projected 79 wins at the start of the year. The Tampa Bay Rays have just been an absolute consistent team all year round, and they have no signs of slowing down, with great seasons from guys like Yandy Diaz, Junior Caminero, and Jonathan Aranda, which were no surprises, as well as emergences from the pitching staff with guys like Nick Martinez making the All-Star team and being an absolute gem this whole season. This team just finds a way to do it. Brian Baker has been one of the best relievers in baseball, leading the league in saves. And the Rays just play the game the right way, and they play the game to win. Unlike other teams, maybe like the Mets. The Rays are just always that team where they figure out a way to do it even when they don't have the best team. Their lineup is literally 3 guys, and the rest are just friends. If the top 3 aren't producing, they're gonna be in trouble. But those top 3 are probably the best top 3 in all of the league. And they brought in a guy like Liam Hicks at the trade deadline to help bolster that lineup for the playoffs. And maybe if Freddie Peralta can figure it out, he hasn't shown any signs of doing that. But if he can, this team is going to be a major World Series contender, and they're going to be the top seed in the American League for the rest of the year. And I do not want to see the Tampa Bay Rays in a playoff series if I am any other team in the AL or whoever makes it out of the NL if the Rays make the World Series. I'm all in on this Rays team. They know how to play. They know how to win. Kevin Cash, one of the best managers in the league. He's shown it time in and time out. And I don't think this team is showing signs of slowing down. And I really do think they're going to win the American League and represent the American League in the World Series. Maybe go up against a team who we will mention later in this video from the NL side. However, the next team we have to mention made the ALCS last year. They were a game away from making the World Series, and now they're absolutely disappointing. The Seattle Mariners, who have one of the best rosters on paper, you have that rotation of Bryce Miller, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, and this team has just not been doing it. Emerson Hancock, a back-end closer who's one of the best in the league, Andres Munoz, and you have a lineup of Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Josh Naylor, Randy Arozarena, who's having a great year, and guys like that. It's just nobody can even understand how this happened, that the Mariners are on pace to win 75 games for the rest of the year when they were projected to be a 90-win team and probably the favorite to be the AL champion. Currently, they're sitting at 57 and 66, 9 games under 500, and they're completely out of the playoff race. In my opinion, I don't see a world where they reach the playoffs and have the chance to do so. And the main reason is because a guy right here, Cal Raleigh, has had an absolutely terrible season coming off his historic 60 home run season with a 950 OPS. This season, he's batting 160 with an OPS under 600. And it was last year the biggest fluke in MLB history for a player season, as he has just been absolutely terrible this year. And guys like Julio Rodriguez, again, just not having a consistent year. You can't just rely on having a bounce-back second half every single year like Julio Rodriguez has had in the past. However, guys like Randy Arozarena, the pitching staff, are trying to keep them in this, but they just can't find a way to string wins together and become a playoff team that everyone thought they would be and be the AL favorite. Because right now, they're on the outside looking in, and it's not looking any better for the Seattle Mariners, who have been another very disappointing team, but very surprising team on the bad side of being surprising. You want to be a team that surprised everyone by being great, like the Chicago White Sox and the team we're about to mention next. For some reason, everyone always doubts the Milwaukee Brewers going into the season. Preseason prediction of 83 wins from ESPN. Are you kidding me? Have you watched this team the past 5 years? They do it and they find a way every time, no matter the roster, no matter the adversity they face, no matter the projections. They were projected 83 wins. They're on pace for 98 wins and to be the top seed in the NL once again for the second year in a row. They currently sit at 75 and 48, top of the NL Central, above the team like the Cubs, who is projected to be better than them, and they have a lead on them of 5 games. The Milwaukee Brewers, you can just never doubt this team. They got rid of Freddie Peralta, but it doesn't matter. They turned Jacob Mizorowski into the best pitcher in the league. They turned Kyle Harrison into one of the best pitchers in the league, and this team just finds a way to do it. They find a way. You can't doubt this team. I know next year they're going to have a win total projection of the low 80s, and I'm going to hit that over because this team does it. Pat Murphy is year in and year out the best manager in the league, and he shows it every single game and every single season. This team's going to win around 100 games again. They're going to make the NLCS. Can they finally dethrone the Dodgers? I think they can this year. Why can't they? Jacob Mizorowski is going to be starting 2 games in the playoff series. That should be 2 wins. Kyle Harrison is going to give you a great number 2. Brandon Woodruff is always consistent. Guys like Logan Henderson are starting to emerge as stars. And that lineup is deep and is very deep with guys who know their role. Bryce Terang, Christian Yelich, Jackson Chourio, Garrett Mitchell's having a great year. A guy like Jake Bowers and Andrew Vaughn, they just show that they can do it no matter what. And even guys like Joey Ortiz and David Hamilton, they know the role. Bun a guy over, just put the ball in play, don't strike out, do the little things right, and you're going to win games. And I think this team has what it takes to win the World Series when many thought they wouldn't even make the playoffs preseason with a projection of 83 wins, which would not be enough to make the playoffs in the National League this year. That's why the Brewers just always surprise teams. That's a 15-game difference, and that's just one of the biggest surprises of the year to the experts. Not really a surprise to me because I know what this Brewers team is capable of. But yeah, these are my 5 biggest surprises of the MLB season. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button down below, and I'm going to be bringing out content every single day.